Let's redesign this scatter plot chart in PowerPoint. I'm looking at some marketing data here. These are some campaigns I've been running with my organization. And the key business question I want to answer with this chart is this. Which campaigns have the most traffic at the cheapest cost per visit? So how do we draw the answer to that question out of this chart as quickly and as easily as possible for our audience? The first thing I'm going to do, step number one, is remove this background or this fill on the chart, and already it's so much easier for me to see those values within the chart. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on these horizontal grid lines. I'm not going to remove the grid lines, but I want to make them lighter or more transparent. So I'm going to set them to an 80% transparency, and then I'm going to make them a dashed line. I'm going to do that both for the horizontal and the vertical, so an 80% transparency and a dashed line. And then the other thing I'm going to do, you'll see these black lines on the X and Y axis. I actually don't want those. I'm going to turn them off. So I'm going to set both the X and Y axes to be no line. And when I do, it will get rid of both of those lines. And so there you go. You've got those dashed gray lines to be able to leverage those to see where the values fall on the scatter plot, but they're a little more subtle in the background, which I love. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is fix these circles. They are a weird 3D with some cool design in them. We see things like this all the time. We do not need those. They're not helpful for our eyes, so I'm actually going to go into the shape effects and turn off all of the crazy 3D formatting that's going on with these circles. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Format Data Series options, into the marker options, and I'm going to change these circles to be a solid fill. And for now, I'm just going to make them a gray. I'm going to set them to 40% transparency for the fill. And then I'm going to use that same gray for the outline. And it's going to create this really nice look for these. Actually, that outline's a little too strong for me still. I'm going to make it even lighter than I selected, maybe something like that. Yeah, that's perfect. And so one of the reasons I'm using fill for the transparent with some transparency is so when you have a bunch of values on a scatter plot, it actually creates a nice visual clustering with all of the different circles. So there's a reason for using some transparency for the fill of the circles.